Okay, Hullabaloo recently just got an adjustment. We're going to be going through most of it right now. It does seem a little bit lengthy, but let's just get it started first. So the first one is Hullabaloo's double surprise. So the clone. As you can see here, the clone initially, before, all the zone looks the same, but right now it seems like we flipped it by 120 degrees, just so then you can maybe double hit with the zone the moment you do this. Once again, right, if you place down the clone and then you flip and then you place it down again, it will remain the same as before. So it doesn't matter whether or not you can recast the clone, just to let everyone know. In a nutshell, this is probably mainly used just to try and counter corner kiting or just to try to get double hit as fast as possible. So here, as you can see, red, white together, that's going to be normal head on towards the survivor. But then I do think, right, in some scenarios, if you can't, let's say, if you can't put this down towards the corner to force survivors to get a hit, I don't think even if you use your doubles, even if you use your turn twice, sometimes it might just not work. We will teleport towards the priestess for this one just to give you a little bit of a showcase. And let's say we now have a mud ball. Let's say we now have a mud ball on our hand. And if we throw this down, it's a white and a mud together. So if we throw that down, that's white and mud. We can double hit. And as you can see, it is pretty easily done. It is pretty easily done. So this could be used to counter corner kiting. But we'll just have to see what happens like in a few weeks in rank. Now, the next part is that we've added more situations where the clone can be manually ended. I'm not too sure what this means, but all what I know is that you only press T to force the clone to end. No more, no less. I'm not sure what they mean. You can manually... You can add more situation where you can manually force the clone to end, but if it works, then it works. You know what? It could be... One of the possibility could be, you know, you can deploy a clone. You can deploy a clone one more time, and then since it persists, there's nothing you can do about it, so then I guess you press T. Not too sure what this means, but whatever NetEase wants, let's say, whatever NetEase wants. Right after that, we have optimized the cast positions for overall performance of the Hullabaloo's clone. So in a nutshell, what this means is, before, I think someone made a video on this, before, when you try to cast a clone and you want to put it downstairs, it wouldn't go down because of a small wall here for some reason, so they kind of optimize it, so now it's easier for you to throw this around the map in a nutshell. The next slight debuff is they have reduced the vertical speed for trapeze, so basically for his vaults. I don't really see the difference because I'm on red pin, but it's only the vertical speed, so that simply just means, you know, like, hey, you can still go through the obstacles fast, it's just going up from a direction like this in which it's slowed down by just a tiny bit. But honestly, I don't really see the difference. I don't really see the difference, so I don't know whether or not this has been added to the game or the devs just forgot about it, but I can't really see any visible adjustments. Well, it could be because of my pin as well, to be honest with you. Now, we've also fixed an issue where Hullabaloo could climb over and pass through a certain object. Here is in a video showing you what he would have been able to pass through. It's a basement video, so yeah, glad that's optimized. Okay, next is going to be a nerf. If we just disable cooldown depletion here, so double surprise has been nerfed from 11-second cooldown to 12-second cooldown. So if we deploy it right here and then we immediately cancel, it is now a 12-second instead of an 11-second cooldown compared to before. Not only that, for double surprise, TLDR, it has been reduced from 42 meters or 47 meters, it's around the 40 range, to 32 meters, so just under Tinnitus range. So as you can see here, right, Tinnitus range is 36 meters. You see Priestess there? You see Priestess there? Okay, hold on, let me just move Priestess towards the cipher. Right now, this is Tinnitus range. This is Tinnitus range. Right about here is Tinnitus range. Right, and then we place this down, and then if we warp over... It is around, so that this is 32 meters, now this range is 36 meters, so like it's being reduced from around 40-ish meters to 32 meters. Overall, it's a good optimization. It's a nerf, alright, but it's a good optimization. I don't think you should be allowed to, you know, kind of throw it halfway across the map just for free, because Tinnitus range is pretty big, and as you can see here as well, right, if you're within Tinnitus range, you usually can just do whatever you want to do, but this does remove his map control by a tiny bit, I guess, when it comes to trying to stop survivors from decoding cipher machines with, you know, your white zone, with your white zone here, in a nutshell. Now, Hullabaloo's pallet destruction speed has been increased by 0.2 seconds. This is kind of the same, treatment as Opera Singer, but 0.2 second increase might be able to help Survivor quite a bit when it comes to getting out of range. What I will probably say is they most likely will increase this by a tiny bit more, especially with the fact that he moves at 5 meters per second, right? So there's something that we honestly need to worry about as a Survivor main. Overall, this nerf isn't that bad, if I'm being honest with you. 0.2 second increase isn't bad, especially if you have Trapeze, where you can just vault over pallets and windows and you can catch up towards the survivors relatively fast. Next will be a buff. So in a nutshell, we have decreased the cooldown for M Core from 20 seconds to 18 seconds. This is the spinny zone right beneath you. So as you can see here, we will spin twice. And instead of 20-second cooldown, it'll be 18 seconds cooldown. It could be because that NetEase doesn't want survivors to actually corner camp, so they've reduced the cooldown here just by a tiny bit. But they also don't want, you know, they also don't want hunters to be able to switch over that fast just to get the 3 hits ASAP. But that's going to be a slight buff here for Hullabaloo. Next nerf would be the clone. So in a nutshell, when you spawn the clone, the stage or the zone will appear 0.3 seconds later. You're probably not going to see much. You're probably not gonna, how do I say this? You're probably not going to be able to see much of a difference since it's only 0.3 seconds. But I do think you at least still do see the window. You do at least still see the window of, you know, where you could potentially speaking spawn these double surprises on survivors, but they can still run out without taking too much debuffs. Okay, not only that, the zone also got a small nerf as well. Instead of the debuff being in effect for 1 second after leaving, it's only in effect for 0.5 seconds. So if we see up here as well, right, dry ice stage, if we leave, instead of 1 second, it'll be 0.5 seconds. So this is going to be relatively fast into getting rid of the debuffs. Right, now even the clay stage, right, the debuff doesn't seem like it matters too much when it comes to going inside the mud zone, because it's only 0.5 seconds once you get out. Now, the next debuff for the Acrobat would be, once you get a ball on the survivor, the ball only persists for 40 seconds. That's the wrong button, excuse me. The ball only persists here for 40 seconds. I don't think you can actually see it here, but the ball only persists for 40 seconds, which is why this timer is going down so fast. But I do think, right, once you reapply the stack, it will get refreshed, so that's still something you need to worry about in a nutshell. But if you're able to pull distance away from the hunter for 40 seconds, in which I don't think you should be, that will be possible, you'll be able to lose all ball stacks regardless of what happens. Okay, next would be Hullabaloo's trapeze, his vault over. So it's been increased from 14 seconds to 16 seconds. Once we vault over here, you will be able to see the slight increase. So I'm going to spell vault over. As you can see, it was 16-second cooldown instead of 14 seconds on this vault over. But overall, that should be it here from Hullabaloo's nerfs and optimizations and buffs. Tell me what you feel about this in the comments below. But overall, for me, I just feel like they want to stop Survivor from corner camping, which is why they decided to do this. Which is why they decided to do this. But also at the same time, these buffs and nerfs doesn't really matter too much for Hullabaloo. It's more or less just Hullabaloo was overtuned and now he's a bit better. It's basically not as bad compared to Ivy when Ivy got everything shaved off her. For Hullabaloo right now, he's still the same as before. He can still vault over the things he needs to vault. You can still vault over the things that he needs to vault. So still pretty strong overall, and we have definitely 100% countered corner kiting right now. So aside from that, I will be looking at the comments later. Please don't fight, for God's sake, guys. As much as I respect everyone's opinions, don't fight. We're all grown adults here, just for the sake of it. I do not know where the negativity came from within the past few days, right? But this is not a community for that. I'm just gonna put this out here immediately. This is not a community. This is not a place for that. If you have opinions, very fair. I respect it. But you can't go over and attack other people and just start insulting for no gosh darn reason. But that's gonna be it from me for today. Thank you everyone for coming. I'll see you all in the next optimization video.